Speedway Report is a production of ZTV. Now, teammates light each other up in Daytona. A legendary short track race checkered last night with a first time winner that was a long time coming. And NASCAR's regular season is over and the playoffs begin. Are there dumber words ever said in motorsports? All this and more coming up. Welcome to Speedway Report for Monday, August the 31st, 2020. From the shores of Lake Norman in Race City, USA, Mooresville, North Carolina, I'm Patrick Reynolds, and thank you for joining the fastest half hour in racing. Subscribe to our YouTube channel because we are back up and running and still getting the bugs worked out on a lot of things around here, but YouTube back alive and well. Speedway Report's Victory Lane Lap is brought to you by whatever company would like to send in some money. We don't have a sponsor, but let's tell you who won what over the last weekend in August for this year. Last weekend in August, I don't even think the summer even counts as beginning yet, but here we are pushing Labor Day weekend coming up next week. NASCAR's Cup raced in Daytona last night. They should have been there 4th of July, but I'm full of commentary, so I'll just keep voicing my opinion. William Byron, checkered flag Saturday night in the 400-miler at Daytona. I've hypothetically raised this question last week. Is this still the Firecracker 400? Do I still call it that? It's had sponsors for years. The Firecracker name has gone away. But, yeah, it's, end of August. I don't know. Firecracker 400 won by William Byron. Justin Haley won the Xfinity Series race on Friday night. And the NASCAR trucks were at Gateway in St. Louis. Sheldon Creed was your truck winner there. It was a big weekend in Gateway. We're going to get to a little bit more of that as we go along here. NASCAR's Whelen Modified Tour race in Monadnock, New Hampshire was rained out on Saturday night, put to Sunday afternoon. Justin Bonsignor took the checkered flag there. Strong kid out of Long Island. IndyCar ran a doubleheader at Gateway as well. Saturday's race, nice historic win for Scott Dixon, and Sunday afternoon's event won by Joseph Newgarden. Early on Sunday morning, I was up with my bacon, my eggs, my omelet, my coffee, and I watched the Belgium Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton, surprise, surprise, won the pole, won the race for Mercedes. Lucas Oil late models. Oh, ho, ho. We've been knowing this has been coming for a while here. We could see it coming. Can he do it? Yes, he did. Port Royal Speedway held the triple header for the Lucas Oil late models on Thursday night. The A-Main was won by Tim McCready. Friday night, show was rained out. Saturday night, in only his second career start in a late model on dirt for the Lucas Oil Series, Kyle Larson was your winner in the Lucas Oil Late Model Series. Back to where he has been winning all summer long on the sprint cars. This time with the World of Outlaws, they raced Friday night in Osborne, Missouri. Sheldon Haudenschild was your winner. And Saturday night in Greenwood, Nebraska, Brad Sweet took the A-Main for Casey Kane Racing. And rounding out the weekend in Gateway, Ty Gibbs won the ARCA Series event that was held in conjunction with the IndyCars. USAC Sprints ran 3 nights at Kokomo, Indiana. Thursday and Friday night, taken by Kyle Cummings and Tyler Courtney, won the A-Main on Saturday night. Brett Cressley was your small block mod winner in Grandview, Pennsylvania on Saturday night. And the Southern Modified Auto Racing Tour, SMART, rose from the ashes like a phoenix, like it did so many years ago. NASCAR started the Southern Tour, spit it back out. SMART is back. Brian Lofton wins this chapter of the series race in Asheboro, North Carolina. Opens a new chapter and a new beginning for the tour. And last night in Oxford, Maine, the 47th annual Oxford 250 was won by Johnny Clark. It was his first win, but he's been an entrant in there since 1997. Took him every year to finally win the Oxford 250. Disappointing part of it is that the state of Maine only allowed 200 people to attend the Oxford 250. The grandstand holds 8,000, And I think they bring in temporary seating for this event. I know there have been 15 to 20,000 people that show up in Oxford, Maine for the 250. I guess if you're going to win a 250, at least you do, even if it's only in front of a couple hundred people. Hey, Jillian, thanks for tuning in tonight. Good to see you along with us. Let's get back to Gateway. I guess there's a few names this week that I hope people are paying attention to that are realizing what they are watching. They're watching the unfolding of greatness. First one we're going to start with is Scott Dixon. This is nothing new, as the man has been a master, nicknamed the Iceman, just flies under the radar. It just simply, year after year, gets the job done on the racetrack. Chip Ganassi, hashtag I like winners. You ought to love Scott Dixon. This was his 50th career win in the IndyCar Series. Where's that put him? He's third on the all-time win list. Your leader, A.J. Foyt, was 67 career wins. Second place, the great Mario Andretti with 52, only 2 more than Dixie. So if you're looking at your IndyCar career and you've won only 2 less races than Mario, where do you think you stand? Scott won't tell you anything about this, but what we're watching and what we have watched for so many years is just that type of career that's unfolded in this era. And Dixon doesn't seem like, I don't know, he just doesn't seem that kind of a guy where you look at, I look at Foyt and I look at Mario and Rutherford and the Unsers, and he's put up numbers better than most of these people, and he's done it in just this era, and no one else really. I'm shaking my head because the stat came out, and he's slowly, methodically over the years have done this. This is one of the greats all-time of IndyCar, and when we complain, look at rose-colored glasses from the past, which I do sometimes no, because in many cases the past was better, let's admit it. But Dixie has done this in today's day and age, and has the one win in the Indy 500 in 2008, and just another is just. I don't know. I see Mario as a spotlight celebrity. AJ Foyt, spotlight celebrity, greats all time. And it's tough to describe what a current driver will land in the overall landscape in the history of the sport, especially when they're still racing. I think you got to stop. They retire. They step out, and you look back in their career, and they somewhat fall within that. But he's looking at possibly before the end of this season, clearing Mario. Oh my, Scott Dixon, definitely hashtag I like winners. Hey Thomas, good to see you, buddy. Let's see who else is with us tonight. Well, you were the only 2 that said hey, but I'm sure there are a few more with us, I could see. But thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. Daytona, Friday night, Xfinity race. Who else was laughing like I was? The Colleague racing cars were racing 1, 2, and 3. I face-palmed it, laughed, felt heartache, all of that, as A.J. Allmendinger and Ross Chastain were 1 and 2. Justin Haley was third. You're looking at a 1-2-3 sweep from the same garage. Allmendinger and Chastain crash, and that leaves the door wide open. Haley went to victory lane. Good for Haley. But, geez, the Colleague racing guys, when you've got 2 destroyed cars from the super speedway wreck, and Chastain and Allmendinger are just shaking their head. I don't know. Brings back, I don't know. Have I got a silly spot in my head for teammates that wreck? I bring it up from time to time here. There was the infamous race, and help me out with this here too, please, in the comments, wherever you're watching it through. The crash with the Hendrick cars at Martinsville, that was what, 30 years ago? Help me out here. It was the 25 of Kenny Schrader, and the 5 was it Ricky Rudd or Jeff Bodine? I don't recall who was in what car and what happened. I'm a little bit fuzzy on that, but that was the infamous Hendrick crash coming out of turn 2 at Martinsville, fighting for the lead. Then one of my favorites is the Team Red Bull crash when they were battling for 35th with Scott Speed and Casey Mears in 2009, 2010, something like that. That was a riot. And it happens from time to time over the years. Just a soft spot in my chuckle. It triggers a funny bone in me when I see teammates get together and crash. I shouldn't laugh at crashes. I don't, as I normally do, but I don't want to see anybody get hurt, and I know what it's like to wreck these cars. You just want teammates. When you're working on these cars side by side each other in the shop, I've been part of these multi-car operations. A car is a car is a car in the shop. You're putting them together, you're building them, you're helping each other, you're alongside. These two guys go out on the racetrack, destroy these cars, and they are not in the shop repairing them. They should be. Jack Roush did that a while back with some younger drivers about 10 years ago or so, even more. Just guys, as he described it, it's okay for a driver to push his limits and find the edge, and while he's learning to step over. It's another thing whatsoever to be reckless. And that's what we see sometimes in drivers, is they're reckless. And getting them in the shop at 6 a.m. to unload cars and fix them would certainly fix that. It doesn't come out of their pocket. Other guys do it. So they drive these cars kind of reckless. But the teammate stuff, gosh, even when you had colleagues, 1, 2, 3, they were a mile away from sweeping the podium at Daytona. And you look at that, and I shouldn't laugh. I chuckle a little bit, and I do. But Haley goes to victory lane, and the playoffs are set, and we've got regular season champions, and oh my God, I can't drop interest fast enough with NASCAR's National Touring Series. I can't stand this stuff. How we talk about the regular season and the playoffs and who's in and who's out, and why are we still doing this? This is nothing but it hasn't done anything but erode the sport for 15 years. We've deteriorated. Forget COVID-19. Those grandstands would be half empty anyway. Don't give me that. Don't give me COVID-19. The grandstands were thin anyway. This just gives NASCAR a pass in 2020 for crappy attendance. Why do you need a cap on ticket sales? You weren't going to sell them anyway. You've lost so many fans over the years. I remember a race is on. I turn it on. The announcers are talking about playoffs and who's in and regular season, and I turn it right off. Saturday night's race at Daytona, I knew it was on. I couldn't even stomach to turn it on and watch it. I didn't bother. They waved the flag, the journalists and the broadcasters, that this is not your father's NASCAR. They are absolutely right. And that's why I tune out. It's not my father's NASCAR. It's not the NASCAR I grew up on. And it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. Regular seasons and stages, I don't care who's winning the regular season championship. I don't even know. Playoffs, whatever. But if you want the race winner, we'll talk about it. There's some cool stuff in NASCAR, but championships and stages are not part of them. As we talked about Scott Dixon and what his place in auto racing history is, right now I'm going to lump another name in that. He's already been there for several months. Kyle Larson. What is this guy doing? He's showing the world what a gift he is behind the wheel of a race car. You don't have to be a fan of his. A lot of people are not. I get that. You can like and dislike anybody you want. I'm totally cool with that. Kyle Larson, though, what he is doing with just the sprint car and the short track world, and now in a late model, I think the numbers that I saw of him, he hadn't run a late model in about 8 years, and this was his first ever start in the Lucas Oil late model tour, where he finished 5th on Thursday night in his debut. He was further up in the top 5, but he smacked the wall on the last lap, dropped him to 5th. Then he comes along and wins the A-Main on Saturday night at Port Royal. When you're recognizing greatness, please pay attention to it. That's what you are right now with Scott Dixon. That's what we are with Kyle Larson. Even though I'm critical of NASCAR and the championships and the playoffs and the stages, Jimmy Johnson as a driver, I did recognize greatness as a driver. Not a fan of how he won his titles, but that's not his fault or his problem. He doesn't design how the sport is run. That's NASCAR's issue. But I recognize Jimmy Johnson, greatness as a driver. Kyle Larson and Scott Dixon are now those guys. Larson on the short tracks is just amazing. If you can get out and see him, please do it. I heard he may be back at Port Royal this coming weekend on Labor Day for some sprint car racing this weekend, possibly through the Tuscarora Fair the following weekend. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. but like pay attention to Port Royal because trust me, if Kyle Larson is racing, they're going to pump the bejesus out of it and let everybody know that Kyle Larson is on the dirt there. Oh, man. More NASCAR complaining coming up, but it's in a, I don't know, it's in a rise of a phoenix, so to speak. The Southern Modified Auto Racing Tour, SMART, as it used to be called, was a tour brought out in the late 80s that wasn't NASCAR sanctioned, but it revolved around the pavement modified drivers here in the South, many of them with NASCAR modifieds that would run Bowman Gray Stadium and bigger events on the Eastern Seaboard with the modifieds. Well, in 2000, 4 or 5, NASCAR started the Southern Modified Tour to accompany the Wayland Modified Tour up north, and the Southern Tour went the way of so many other short track tours that NASCAR got their hands on and destroyed. NASCAR Southern Modified Tour no longer in existence. Help me out with the current schedules of the All-Pro Series, the Midwest Art Go Series, the Southwest Tour, and the Northwest Tour. Yeah, that's what I thought. ARCA Racing. Watch NASCAR collapse this as well. Remember the old Busch North became K&N Pro Series East, and then ARCA Menard Series East. Winston West has now evolved into the ARCA Menard Series West. Remember how healthy these used to be? The northern events with the Busch North cars and just the All-Pro Series that Bob Harmon had. So many of these great short track tours and series get gobbled up by NASCAR, chewed up, and spit out. So this weekend on Saturday night, Brian Lofton was the winner of the SMART race in Asheboro, North Carolina. I hope they can put this back together and give the Southern Modified guys some kind of place to race where they don't have to tow 12 hours to New England in the Northeast to race. I would love for them to do that, but not out of necessity. I'd love to have them some Southern options there. There's a lot of modified fans down here in the Southeast and in the Carolinas and Virginia. I love watching them race and have missed them at Bowman Gray Stadium all season long, hoping for 2021. However, the SMART Tour, well, I'll keep an eye on them on social media and their web pages to try to see what else happens in their world and if they get back on track. It's good to have them back. Something told me 10, 15 years ago that it was only a matter of time, that NASCAR are going to do what they always do with the short track racing, just reduce it to nothing and have it die a slow death on the vine. They certainly did with the Southern Modified Tour. All rise for the SMART Tour, which is back in action. Let's give a call to our Racer of the Week and a hat tip to Dave Despain at Motor Week Illustrated. I thought a lot about Kyle Larson because of what he's doing. Scott Dixon ran through my mind as Racer of the Week. I've given it to Larson a few times this year. Not that he doesn't deserve it again for all he does, but I do try to find variety. I love short track racers overcoming adversity, climbing a mountain, overcoming the odds. And gosh, on the 24th year that he tried, I'm going to give the Racer of the Week award to Johnny Clark for finally getting the checkered flag in the 47th annual Oxford 250. Better than 20 years for trying to win that race. A big name in New England. Johnny Clark wins the Speedway Report Racer of the Week. In between our broadcasts, keep up on the world of auto racing with SpeedwayReport.com. This show will be archived there, as all of our past shows. We've got some racing articles to read on there as well. Social media. Facebook, we're on Speedway Report with Patrick Reynolds, live right now. Also on the Racers Reunion Facebook page. On Twitter, I'm at Speedway Report and at Speedway Pat. And like I said at the top of the show, check out Speedway Report on our YouTube channel. Big thanks to everyone on the Facebook live feed for joining in. Hey, Jack. Hey, Jack's here. Jan's here. Hey, guys. Good to see you. Happily everybody's here. I want to thank all of the military past and present as we sign off for the freedoms we enjoy as Americans in our daily life, including the simple things like bench racing right here on a Monday night. Freedom is not free, and a veteran paid that bill for us. To all the men and women who are defending freedom and watching Speedway Report, you take care of yourselves and come home soon. A special salute to the teachers, school staff, firefighters, police officers, and paramedics in our own communities. They are quiet and modest heroes every single day. God bless and thank you. You've been watching Speedway Report from the shores of Lake Norman in Race City, USA, and Mooresville, North Carolina. Please like our Facebook page, Speedway Report with Patrick Reynolds, and follow me on Twitter at SpeedwayPat. Now, if you're on Facebook Live right now on the Drag Racing List page, head on over there. Bill and John are going to talk with Todd Mack in just a few minutes. It's Todd with 1D. 1D Todd, 1D Mac. We'll be back here on live on Facebook Monday, September 7th from the U.S. Nationals in Indy, the Southern 500 at Darlington, sprint cars from Port Royal. Hopefully Kyle Larson will be there, and a bunch of short track racing. Thanks for watching. You take care of yourselves and take care of each other. I'll see you all next week.